Scheduled for the 7th of November 2017. At the presidential level, the runoff elections will take place between the mighty Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, and the ruling Unity Party. The results, as announced by NEC, evidently show that our mighty Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, overwhelmingly won the first round of the elections, but fell short of the constitutional requirement of 50 plus 1% in order to be declared an outright winner. As you all may know by now, we defeated our closest rival, the Unity Party, by a margin of about 150,000 votes throughout the country. The mighty Coalition for Democratic Change is very proud of its performance of its members across the length and breadth of our country, and we are confident that in the runoff elections we will double the margin and retire the ruling Unity Party. It is in this respect that we extend our profound gratitude to the Almighty God for granting us a peaceful elections, to seditious across the length and breadth of our country, to support us and to sympathize us and well-wish us for their show of political supremacy at the polls. We also like to commend the people of Liberia for a peaceful process and extend our profound thanks to the National Election Commission, the security forces in our country, local and international observers, and all participants in this very historic landmark elections, bringing Liberia once again under the democratic spotlight. In the spirit of opposition solidarity, we would like to thank all of the opposition parties which participated in the first round and implore them for their participation, which is a positive step forward in the consolidation of our fledgling democracy. The ongoing negotiations and discussions being spearheaded by our standard bearer, Ambassador George Weah, with other political parties and stakeholders, is indicative of our determination to work with all Liberians in finding a way forward for the positive transformation of our country. As we commence campaign for the runoff process, we like to make a clarion call to all seditious, to our sympathizers, to our supporters, to our well-wishers, and the many like-minded forces that have now joined our ranks to go throughout the length and breadth of our country, from house to house, from village to village, from street to street, from town to town, and secure a coalition victory. This is no time for reluctance or complacency. Let us mobilize our people and go out and vote for the CDC government. Indeed, the people's time has finally come. By your vote, you will transform Liberia for the better, and we can ensure that your vote will make your tomorrow quite better than it is today. To the women of Liberia, I want to thank you personally on behalf of Ambassador Weah and myself for your full participation in this process, as you made up 49% of the voting population. We ask you this evening to rise and claim your rightful place in the new Liberia. For under a CDC-led government, the women of Liberia will have a voice and be allowed to participate at the highest levels of our governance process. We therefore urge you to commit to the CDC and to vote for the CDC in the second round as your platform for social, political, and economic emancipation. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the Fourth Estate, as Liberians, we all have our differences, but we also have a common patrimony, which is Liberia. The interest and well-being of this great nation must never be compromised for our individual objectives. We must be respectful of one another, regardless of our political orientation and beliefs. For the wave of change is actually here. Embrace it. It is inevitable and irreversible. It cannot be postponed or altered. For after 12 years of a unity party rule, the Liberian people have had enough. It is time for the People's Party, the party committed to transformation and change, headed by Ambassador George Weah, to lead Liberia into a period of yet unseen prosperity and unity. Let there be no doubt, CDC has the capacity to win and the ability to lead, and we will lead. We do so collaboratively with members of the opposition and with Liberians at every juncture of our society. For we need all hands on deck. Truly, our table is large enough and everyone will have a space. Fellow Liberians, nowadays when you listen to radio, read the newspapers and visit the internet, there are lots of outright lies and misinformation aimed at character assassination and creating discord amongst our people. Some take happiness in creating confusion and fear. But tonight, let the word go forth that we at the Coalition for Democratic Change are for peace and unity and development and progress. There are those who are making up false stories about my health, about activities of our coalition, about many other issues that seem to spread fear in the local population and in the international community. For the record, I am of the best of health, and as we lead our coalition to total victory come November 7th, Ambassador George Weah and I are prepared to lead. We have the energy, we have the foresight, and we have the vision to take our country to where it should be. But politics aside, it is inhumane to wish ill health and death upon our political opponents. This is not politics, and we Liberians must graduate to a level where we can be tolerant of the views of one another, regardless of our differences. My fellow compatriots, while we cherish the media as the watchdog of our society, we are saddened by the politicization of some of our media institutions. We commend those who have stood the test of time and are positively contributing to our political discourse. In the same vein, we hope that those who are using the media as a conduit of hate, lies, and division to please Jesus. In this regard, I am profoundly saddened by the colossal lies that the New Democrat newspaper has published. I want to assure all of our citizens, especially Mr. Bernard Ure and Senator Prince Johnson, that neither me as a person nor the CDC as an institution is bent on doing anything that will further divide our people and disturb our peace. Our commitment to the people of Liberia is that we pick up Liberia when we win at the point where we need it and take it to higher and nobler heights. The front page story in the October 2017 edition of the New Democrat newspaper is not only false and misleading, but reprehensible and without any basis in law or in fact. CDC is a movement of peace, a movement of unity, and a movement of progress, driven by the love of the people of Liberia. Our objectives are about helping our people improve their lives, restore hope, and grow our economy, as well as ensure that the Joseph A. Boycott Vice Presidency is not allowed to come anywhere near the presidency of the Republic of Liberia in the new dispensation. This will be done through the democratic process, where we will go out and convince our people why the CDC-led government is the best government of unity and peace and lack of corruption that will enable us to grow our economy to impact the lives of our people in a positive way. The story in the New Democrat is a clever attempt at some to sow disunity and confusion in our opposition. We cannot afford for them to divide us, as they have done in the past, for we are not ignorant of their devices. We are aware of the desperate campaign of misinformation and disinformation being waged against us by the politically embattled Unity Party and their surrogate media outlets, with the intent to distract and vilify other members of our society. We are aware of the scare tactics and political machinations, but we shall not be deterred by any such broad day lies. I believe those around Vice President Joseph Weah are a bunch of confused and desperate people who want power at all costs. The stance of the CDC on our approach to the issue of reconciliation in Liberia is clear and unambiguous. The Coalition for Democratic Change embraces reconciliation as an indispensable part of our agenda for prosperity. I want to acknowledge here this evening before I close the efforts that Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, outgoing President of the Republic of Liberia, has made over the past 11 years. She has ensured that our democratic space is free of intimidation and abuse, and provided us with a new platform to continue to build this beautiful country. It is therefore incumbent upon each of us to continue in such a practice. In this regard, I wholeheartedly condemn all acts of violence and intimidation that have occasioned our political transition, and as we go into the second round of these elections, call on all political parties to get involved in the process in a free, fair, and transparent manner, so that there will be no violence and that people will be able to go out and cast their ballots in the manner in which they choose. Again, I'd like to reiterate the commitment of the Coalition of Democratic Change to the policy of neighborliness and non-interference in the internal affairs of other countries. As our manifesto explains, we will uphold and respect the tenets of all bilateral and international agreements to which Liberia is currently a signatory. On the issue of former President Charles Taylor, we have repeatedly indicated that the CDC-led government will proceed in congruence with the policies of ECOWAS, AU, and the United Nations on said matter. No one should use the media as a platform to scare the international community into cowering into a point to say if the CDC-led government with Senator Joe Taylor as its vice president is brought to power, that will unravel all that what has been done in this dispensation. Finally, let it be made known that in the first round of these elections, the people of Liberia overwhelmingly rejected Joseph Weah and his Unity Party. In the runoff, the Unity Party government again will be rejected by the Liberian people, but this time because they want change. No amount of lies will help us bring the Unity Party back into power. The days of the Unity Party are now numbered. In the days to come, our standard bearer, the President-in-Waiting, Ambassador George Weah of the Coalition for Democratic Change, will address the nation and clearly set forth the position of the